Hello, hello, hello to my replay viewers. How are you all doing? Good evening. This is Adelaide Brown with Be Blessed Daily. Hope that all is well with you guys. Hello, Shantae. How you doing? How you doing? It's so great to see you this evening. To see your beautiful, you're yellow tonight. You're not brown, but I still love to see your hearts. It's Friday. Hey, Prophet LB Hudson, how you doing? Thanks for coming in. Well, let me go ahead and introduce myself. I am Adelaide Brown with Be Blessed Daily. And at Be Blessed Daily, we inspire and empower women and girls to break through the glass ceilings in their lives and soar in their unlimited greatness. Thank you so much for inviting your followers. I encourage you to invite your followers. I encourage you to heart it up if I'm saying anything that you can relate to, anything that I'm saying that resonates with you. I really want you to share this with your friends. Let them know about this. So earlier, well, this is actually Lauryn Hill. This is Tell Him. So this is what my Friday night turn up looks like. It used to look like me being in the club every night and partying and standing in lines and all of that good stuff. But tonight I'm just sitting here. Let me show you guys what I got going on. I'm sitting here with my new journal. I'm conjuring, got my glass of wine, got my anchored, my notes, sitting here listening. And I just wanted to get on and have a little heart scope with my ladies. Lauren, my bad, type of fast. No problem, no problem. I just wanted to make sure you knew who it was. So if you were YouTubing, you were looking for the right person. So I did a scope a little earlier this evening about decision versus desire. So I just want to know, what do you guys think? Have you truly made the decisions that you want to live life anchored in your greatness? Or is it just a desire? Like, do you sit around and you think about, oh, I want to do this and oh, I want to do that. But have you made a decision that you're going to let this thing work out for you? And I'm talking about in every area of your life, not in just one area of your life. What I have found is that many times what we do is we will go really hard in one area of our life, and usually it's the area that we feel most confident in. But I want you to think about your life as a body, okay, as a unit, when all of the parts go together to make a whole. So if you are excelling professionally and you're excelling, personally but not professionally, professionally and not personally, I can promise you it's going to spill over into the other areas of your life. So when we talk about making a decision versus having a desire, let me tell you what a decision is. Hey, Vanessa, a decision is coming to a conclusion after much contemplation, after much thought, right? That's what a decision is. A desire is a deep want, a deep desire, a really deep want, something that you want to have, something that you dream about, but you haven't made a decision that you're going to get it. See, a decision is a conclusion that has been made about a desire, all right? So a lot of us, we desire to live a better life. We desire, like, to have a happy marriage. We desire to have good children. We desire to have our bank accounts full of money. We desire to do those things. But have you made a decision? Like, we desire to have good friends who are loyal to us. But have you made a decision that you're going to be that friend? Or we desire to, live a life of a... But have you made a decision that you're willing to do whatever it takes? See, what I've been finding is, and this is what God has been telling me, like even with me when I talk to him about things, we will say we want to live this life. We will say that we want to have certain things. We will say that we want to experience I'm blessed and highly favored, and I'm blessed in the city, and I'm blessed in the field. And you know what, girl? I'm praying about that because I know this is my year. I am claiming it. I put my name on it. I am speaking it into existence. But you haven't made a decision. you have stipulations. You're willing to do whatever it takes if you can get your desired outcome. But what if you have to be like Abraham and you have to wait 20 years on your promise? What if? What if that means that the very person that you cut out of your life, you have to go back to them and ask for forgiveness? Because on the other side of that is the breakthrough you've been waiting on for 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, 6 months. I don't know. What if you have to stand up to that Goliath in your life? You desire for them to leave you alone. You desire that they would just walk away and get out of your life and leave you alone. But have you made a decision that you're going to do whatever you can possibly do so that this thing can happen? Or have you made a decision that you're willing to allow God to do whatever he needs to do in your life to make it happen? Because I can almost promise you, many people have not. I can't tell you how many times a day I hear people say things like, oh, I'm just so ready for God to do whatever he's going to do. But I can't do this and I can't do that. What if God doing what he's going to do comes through that very thing that you're telling me that you can't do? See, I want you to think about what I'm saying because, see, I'm going to use a lot of women. Myself, I was in this boat before. You know, we'll say things like, I want a good man. You know what, God, I want a good man. But we don't realize that there's some things, some work that needs to be done in us so that we can be able to, we'll be prepared for that good man when he comes. Because, see, we think that we are the end-all, tell-all. We think that we just got it all together and, you know, anybody that has to date us or deal with us needs to conform to that. And that can even go into our marriage. What do I mean? I mean that when we look at our relationships, a lot of times we look at it from our own personal perspective. So we are not seeing the fact that there is a lot of work that God needs to do in us. And even those of us who will admit, I need the work done, we say it in a prideful way. Yeah, I need the work done, but I dare you to say something to me about what I need done. Because if you did address that with me, I'm going to get an attitude with you. I'm going to walk away from you because I don't want to hear that. Hey, lady warrior. See, those are the types of things I'm talking about. Decision versus desire. Hey, Popsy P, tell me this. Have you made a decision that you are going to live your best life ever? Have you made a decision that you want to live that type of life that the Lord talks about and that the Bible talks about in Deuteronomy chapter 28, where you're blessed in the city and you're blessed in the field? Hey, girl, how you doing? It's good to see you. I saw that you caught one of my replays, but it's good to see you on live tonight. We on my Friday night turn up. This is so different from what my turn-up used to look like, but I am enjoying this much, much more than what I ever used to. Because my turn-ups before were so superficial. It was a lot of dancing and smiling and laughing, but on the inside, very empty, very lost, very hurt. You know, I was having this party time and doing the things that came along with that to kind of drown out the pain that I was feeling each and every day. So it was like a time to release, a time to get away. But as soon as I got back home, it was like reality faced me again. So I realized that there's no running from it. You know what I'm saying? So it feels good to be in this space. It really does. Like, it feels good to feel so fulfilled. Like, I'm sitting at home writing out all of the things that I want to talk to you guys about. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, I go out, but it's not the same way, you know. I still go out, but I don't go out like that, and it's not something that I have to do. It's something that I do when I feel like doing it. See, before I felt like I couldn't miss anything. You know, I always needed to be a part of things because really what it was is I couldn't You're talking about dancing, right? Oh, if that's what you're talking about, trust me. Don't get it twisted now. I still like yes. I still like to cut up. I still like to have a good time. But what I'm saying is I'm not breaking down the club doors to be in there tonight. That used to be my thing. I wasn't going to miss a weekend. And it feels good to be in this space right now. Because I made a decision. We're talking about desire over decision. A desire is a really strong want. or a need. It's something, I desire to be rich. I desire to have a good man. I desire to buy a home. I desire to start my business. I desire to have peace. But have you made a decision? Have you made a decision that you're going to have a good man? Have you made a decision that you're going to have that home? Have you made a decision that you're going to be in that peace? Because you have to make a decision. Remember, nobody else can make you do anything. When people say things like, she hurt my feelings. No, she didn't. You made a choice for your feelings to be hurt. That's what you did. Trust me now. She did not make you curse her out. No. You responded to what she said, and that was your response. Nobody made you do that. All right? We have to keep this in mind when we're moving forward in life, because that's how we activate our faith. You know when you've made a decision, because things start happening in your life. It goes from the, oh, I hope, oh, I wish, someday it'll happen, to you start getting action steps. Like you start getting people reaching out to you. You start getting like we're talking about you getting a good man. You make a decision, so you start having men approach you. You might have someone that's been in your life for a long time, but all of a sudden he just wants to let you know how he's been admiring you all of this time. Like, those are the types of things that happen when you make a decision. When you're sitting in desire, it's like sitting in the waiting room, but you haven't put your name on the list to let the doctor know that you checked in. Once you make a decision, that's when they call you back. That's when you get in the room. That's when the work starts to get done. That's what I want you to think about. When you make a decision in your life, things start happening. Sometimes it looks like all hell is breaking loose. Sometimes it looks like all heaven is breaking loose. But whatever happens, a change takes place when you make a decision. We have to stop sitting in the balance. We have to stop, waiting and hoping, and one day, someday, oh yeah, one day I'm gonna write that book. Oh yeah, one day I'm gonna go and audition for that play. One day I'm gonna go and talk to my mom and tell her how I feel. One day I'll write that letter to the president. Oh, one day, someday. I mean, how are you so arrogant to think that you have tomorrow? How do you even know that you have later on this evening? Like, I could get off the scope and you guys can never see me again. So I'm sitting here right now and I'm strategizing and I'm writing things out, because I'm like, I realized that I made a decision that I'm going to live the life that God created me to live. I left from being in that desire. For a very long time, I was only desiring to live that life. But I didn't make the decision. You know why I didn't make the decision? Because I didn't know how. And because I didn't know how, I felt like it couldn't happen. But if I have to know all of the answers, why do I need God? And I'm asking you that question. I feel like a lot of you have been holding back because you don't know how. You have great ideas that you can move forward with, but you're afraid of the rejection. My question to you is, why do you need God if you have to have all of the answers? Why do you need God if everybody has to say yes to you? I'm telling you, it is your time. Like, it's time for you to cross over. It's time for you to bridge that gap from desire to decision. You have to come within a place. You have to come to a place within yourself. You have to allow your heart to speak. That's why I talk about being a heart coach. Because usually the bridge between desire and decision is dealing with some type of insecurity, some type of hurt, some type of pain, some type of lie that you've told yourself or that others have told you to make you think that you can't have that or you can't experience that. So you just sit there in fairy tale la la land and you dream about it like it's Cinderella or Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, instead of actually making a decision that, you know what? I don't know how it's going to happen, Lord, but I'm going to buy my house. And I don't know how it's going to happen, Lord, but I know you sending me a good man. And I don't know how it's going to happen, Lord, but I know you already worked everything out for my finances. So I'm moving forward because I believe that you have already made it happen. Trust the process. You got to trust God. You know what it's like? It's like this. Right now, if you had a Powerball lottery ticket, right? And you bought the lottery ticket and you're watching the show that night and they call out your number. You start flipping out, jumping up and down, going crazy because you know you won. Do you have any money in your hand yet? Did you get any money? No. All you did, you saw the numbers and they matched up with what was on the screen. So you know that that ticket guarantees your winnings, right? That ticket guarantees your treasure. That ticket guarantees your prize. And that's what faith is. Faith is like that lottery ticket. That's why you have to make a decision. Excuse me, guys. I don't know what's going on with my phone. That's why you have to make a decision. Because when you make a decision, the decision itself is the faith, is the lottery ticket. And that's how you know that you're going to cash in on all of your winnings. But you just can't give up. You just cannot let it go. And you got to get out of this place of desire. Like, you have to go from, what does this look like? Desire versus decision. Desire is you dream about all of the organizations you want to start. You want to help the youth, and you want to help the homeless, help the elderly. You may be someone that want to support cancer patients. I don't know. You may be a lupus awareness. My mom had lupus. And I say had because I believe God has already healed her from that. And so that might be something that you want to do. That's a desire. But you know, one of the things that can bridge the gap to decision? Write it down. Write down the way you want to do things. Write down the vision that you have. Write down the ideas that you have. That is one of the things that will bridge the gap from desire to decision. Make it tangible. Pull it out of the supernatural realm and put it into the natural realm. Take it out of your head and put it on paper. That's what I'm doing. That's what I was showing you guys earlier. That's what we have to do. We have to trust the process, guys. We have to get anchored in our greatness. I am so sick and tired of us church people hiding behind faith, false faith on the surface. The superficial faith. I'm so sick of us hiding behind prayer. I'm so sick of us hiding behind the word of God. We are not bringing God any glory by playing small. And that's usually how we justify playing small. Like, oh no, I'm not going to do that because, I got to pray about that. Oh no, I'm not going to do that because you know what? They hurt me before and I prayed about that and I'm not going to do that again. I want you to think about the people that Jesus was witnessing to. A lot of the people didn't even believe in him. A lot of people, they just wanted to be helped. It wasn't so much that they liked him so much. They just needed to have relief from what they were going through. Why am I saying that? Because you cannot be attached to your outcome. When you go from desire to decision, you cannot worry about what that looks like and who has to come into play. You know, a lot of us, we count, I wouldn't say count. A lot of us block our blessings because we've figured it out and we don't give God any room to do anything in our lives. We've already mapped out the plan. We've already put it together. So what room does he have to come in and do what he needs to do? We haven't allowed him any space. So when you go from desire, a strong want, something that you want really, really bad, to decision, a definite conclusion that has been made. Think about that now. So many of you said I made a decision, but the truth of the matter is you're still sitting in desire. For example, I'm blessed in the Lord and my cup runneth over and all of these things, you know, especially us church people, we get real holy sometimes. All of these things that we'll say, but you know deep down inside you're thinking, I'm not smart enough to have $1 million. Nobody in my family ever had $1 million. What would I do with $1 million? Well, everybody gonna want money from me and everybody gonna be calling me and asking me for things all the time. Let me tell you something. Those little subconscious thoughts block. They absolutely block you from receiving that $1 million because you've already told yourself in your head why that money would be such a stress, why that money would be such a burden. Why does it need to come? So when you're in desire, and you decided you're going to make that decision, I want you to understand that decision has to come from a subconscious place. It has to not just come from your head intellectually. It has to come from your mind. It has to come from your heart. It has to come from your spirit. That's why you have to make sure your desires are aligned with the will of God. Psalms 37:4 says, delight yourself in the Lord and he will give you the desires of your heart. You have to make sure that your desires are aligned with God. Sometimes we do make a decision on our desires and that's not the right thing for us and it backfires in our face. And that's why a lot of times we go through the things that we go through because we've been hurt so much before. So it's like now we have up all of these defense mechanisms. It's like trying to get through Fort Knox just to love. I'm happy you're discussing this topic. Okay, awesome. I'm glad that this is resonating with you. Thank you for sharing that, Vanessa. A lot of us trying to get through to us, trying to encourage us, trying to empower us, trying to love us, or just trying to tell us the truth, is like trying to get through Fort Knox. We women are so independent and we are so strong and we got it together so much that we don't have any room for anybody to come in and nurture us. We don't have any room for anybody to come in and help us because we always have to do it on our own. And then when we get burnt out and we get worn out, it's like, when nobody's there, nobody wants to help me. But if you be honest, the people were already there. They were always there. But you had to do it your way. And if it wasn't done your way, yes, ma'am, unwilling to be vulnerable. And if it wasn't done your way, then it wasn't right. And if it's not going to be right, then you don't want it. Being right is not your goal. The goal is having peace. That's why Jesus said if somebody hit you on what? The right cheek, turn and give them the left cheek. It's not about being right. It's about having peace. Because peace that surpasses all understanding will attract the goodness into your life. And you don't have to worry about being right because God will validate you for that. But you got to make a decision. Stop desiring for your relationships to work out. For a long time, I had a desire for me and my mom to work out, but I hadn't made a decision because I was still angry with her. And I still kind of wanted her to pay for how she made me feel. And how I did that was I was very stubborn and I really pulled back a lot. The times that she did try to reach out to me, I had all of these stipulations about, well, if I'm going to make, if we're going to have a relationship, then I need you to act this way and I need you to do this and I need you to do that. I hadn't made that decision. Hey, Penny, I hadn't made that decision. I had that desire, but I didn't make the decision. Because when you make the decision, that means that whatever comes along with that decision coming to pass, you're telling yourself, hey, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. It's like a mommy. Any of us who've had children, any of us who've ever carried a baby. Okay, you decide, I am with child. I'm going to bring this child into the world. You don't realize that by making that decision, your body is going to change, your emotions are going to be through the roof and all of that, but you're willing to go through whatever it takes because you've signed up for this process and you're trusting this process. You made a decision and now you're sticking to it. So your decision went into action, which are the last 2 steps in my process of the 6 steps of trust in the process: decision and action. You made the decision, so when you get to about 6 or 7 months and it's hard to get out of the bed and your feet are so swollen that you can't even see you can't even see your feet, you might get to work and find out you have on 2 different pairs of shoes. When you made that decision to bring that baby to term, all of those things were under the umbrella of making that decision. But nobody fusses about that. I mean, we might complain for a little bit, but after the baby comes, nobody's talking about that. So I want you to think about that in your relationships. You want a good man. You want your marriage to work. But are you willing to do all of the steps that are required to make that happen? Are you willing to stand in that decision? Or do you just get high off of the desire? Do you just imagine and leave it there? Do you imagine without action? That's my question. Imagination will help you get there, but you still have to take action to stay there. You have to take action to get along that road. But my goodness, guys, I'm trying to tell you, I thank you guys so much for the hearts. Many of you are thinking, oh no, Addie, I made my decision. No, you did not. You are still in a place of desire. You know how I know? Because you're still wavering back and forth. Well, does he love me? He loves me not. He loves me. He loves me not. Do I want to pursue this goal or do I not want to pursue this goal? Do I want to heal? Do I not want to heal? See, what I knew was that once I forgave my mom, that meant I was going to have to let her off the hook. When I let her off the hook, let me tell y'all what that meant. That meant that every excuse that I had of why I couldn't do the things in my life because my mom wasn't there was no longer valid. It was null and void. And I knew that it was a lot of BS, and I knew that I was playing small, and I was blaming my mama for playing small because I could just put everything on her because she was the scapegoat. My daddy wasn't there, so why not just blame everything on my mama? She was the only one that, even though we fuss and fought all the time, she still kept coming back. But what I realized when I started really going deep and allowing God to open up my heart, what I realized is by letting her off the hook meant that by forgiving her, letting her off the hook, by letting myself off the hook, meant that I was going to have to go deeper within myself, and I wasn't quite ready for that. I wasn't prepared for that. I really didn't want to do that because I didn't want to go back to, when I, attempted to commit suicide. I didn't want to go back to those nights with me and my best friend trying to figure out what we going to do because both our moms fighting their boyfriend on a Sunday night and we got to get ready for school the next day. I didn't want to go back to some of the things that I did, some of the drugs that I used, some of the people that I hung out with. I didn't want to go back to that. That didn't feel good. But I made a decision. I went from lusting and longing after watching videos of other people living the lives that they want to live and enjoying themselves, and I'm sitting on the sideline just watching everybody playing the game. I decided that I made a decision. But I didn't realize that by making that decision, that meant I was going to have to dig back deep in those past things. That meant that I was going to have to go to my husband and apologize for not being vulnerable and not submitting to what I was supposed to submit to, because I get all of my strength out of being independent. And, I'm not going to lose my independence, not realizing that marriage is about interdependence. Like, I'm not supposed to lose myself. I'm supposed to be completely whole so that what I bring to the table is the best so that we can advance forward. And I can't control him and I can't make him do anything. See, all of those things I learned when I made a decision that I wanted to live the life that God created me to live. Some people don't even realize how much those things go together. I spend a lot of times in the entrepreneurship groups and I see a lot of the packages that are offered and the things that, people are offering to help people build their business. But what about the will? What about the spiritual components? Do you know that the things that we can't see activate everything that we can see? And it blows my mind how we want 10 steps to make $1 million, 5 steps to monetize your Periscope, 6 steps to make $1 million on YouTube, but you don't want to heal your heart. You don't want to deal with the hurt and the pain that you've experienced your whole life, because now you got to a point where you're around people that really don't know the story, so you don't have to keep living through the story. So you thought you can just sweep it under the rug and act like nobody was going to find out. Let me tell you something. The pain that you are walking around with is evident. It is evident. It blows my mind. I am so thankful to God for the gift that he's given me. I can see someone smiling and happy, and God will tell me they are absolutely miserable. They are miserable. And I second guess myself for a while. And then a week or two later, maybe even 3 weeks later, they'll go back to that very picture or that very conversation and say, when I had that conversation with you, I was at my wit's end. I thought I was going to lose it. I thought that, oh my gosh, I wanted to kill myself. I couldn't see a way out. And I'm sitting here, but you were smiling from ear to ear. You were encouraging everyone else. And that's how you felt? We got to stay in a place of decision. When we make that decision, we don't have to hide our weaknesses. Like Shantae said earlier, we don't have to hide our weaknesses because we will find the strength in our vulnerability. There is so much strength in our vulnerability, because one thing about being vulnerable, once I put myself out there, you can't hurt me. You can't embarrass me. I've already done that. You're going to have to get up early in the morning to get me. You're going to have to come up with something new. And at the end of the day, if you're going to go through all of that to make my life hell, let me tell you what I know. You're miserable. And instead of me focusing on what you're doing to me, I need to pray for you and your deliverance and your peace, because there is no way that someone that really loves themselves, oh yeah, you're right, not everybody can handle it. You're right. I get that. But it's for people who really want the real thing. It's for people who really want to go deep, Pat. I'm telling you, it's for people who are tired of going to church every Sunday, getting high off the word, and coming home and crying themselves to sleep at night, and then watching their children grow up and go through the same thing. This is for people who are tired of diabetes and high blood pressure and cancer walking through their generations because they don't. And how about this? This is for people who are tired of watching rape and molestation and perversion and things like that walk through their family line. Yes, Penny, it is time to heal. This is for people who are tired of seeing their children go through the same situations that they went through. I don't want my daughter to get pregnant at 17 years old. I don't want my daughter to have a baby by somebody that she's not married to. I did both of those things. I'm not judging anybody. Nobody does that in an ideal situation. Let's be real. Come on now. Don't be offended. If I'm stepping on your toes, that means they're out there for a reason. They needed to get stepped on. Look, this is Heartscope. You don't meet a lot of people like that. You know what? I believe that they're out there. I believe that they may be afraid because let me tell you something. I get a lot of rejection for my honesty, especially from people that know the faults that I have. You know, people will try to throw things out there at me. But what I realize is, but you on the sidelines giving me your feedback. When you get in this game, then you can start talking to me about what I'm doing. I'm not saying that I'm against, constructive feedback. Thank you, Penny. Thank you for the love. I can't heart y'all, so I blow kisses. Thank you so much. You know, I realized that. Like when I was on Facebook Live yesterday, I had a lot of people tell me how they enjoyed the video. But I told them, I said, I know a lot of you looking at me. I remember you weighing, and guess what? I remember me weighing. But I'm doing what God is calling me to do. Are you? Like the commercial, got milk? Got milk, anybody? We all have milk. We all have our own unique substance that we can offer to the world. But are you willing to share it? Or are you going to just slink in the background and just hope nobody notice you and just be a blessing to a few people? Have they made a decision? There you go. You sitting in desire. Have you made a decision? That's right, Shantae. You are listening, girl. That's what I'm talking about. We have to be open to the healing process, guys. We have to. Desire versus decision. Where are you? Where are you? If you've been talking about wanting to write a book for 20 years, we know where you are. If you've been talking about there are no good men for 20 years, we know where you are. You're in desire, but you didn't make it to decision. But let's talk about why you didn't make it to decision. Do you feel worthy? My husband said he made the decision. I know that's right. So tell him to expect things to start happening. When you make the decision, the universe starts to react in your favor. It's just like when that sperm meets that egg, you don't have to do anything to it. Nature takes place. God in his infinite magnificence will allow whatever he does to happen. When you put a seed in the ground, you put it in the ground. You water the earth. You make sure it has sunlight. You don't make it grow. One plants, one waters. The Lord provides the increase. When you make that decision, it's just allowing the Lord to provide the increase. He said he sees them happening since then. Every day he sees results. Oh, wow. Hats off to your husband. Thanks for listening to you. Oh, I'm blowing y'all kisses. I'm blowing both of y'all kisses, Vanessa. I'm blowing kisses at you, and I'm blowing kisses at both of y'all. I'm not trying to, kiss up on your husband, but you know what I mean. I'm sending love to Canada to you guys. And thank you so much for that support. I'm so glad that my scopes can be a blessing and can help you. I'm going to tell y'all what happened. I'm going to tell y'all what happened to me the other day. I walked in the room and my husband was listening to my video on YouTube. And it was awkward. I'm going to be very honest. It was awkward because he was sitting there listening to my video on YouTube. And I'm in the room with him. And he's like, honey, this is good. You made a good decision. I like this. I like this this scope this scope that you did. And I was sitting there like, you're really watching this. And it hit me. And like what you just said, Penny, we all have faults. Thank you so much for that, Shantae. You know how Kevin is sometimes. So when my husband is a sweetheart, y'all. Sometimes he's really quiet. He's quiet with people he doesn't know. He's not quiet at home. I told him I'm going to get him. Yes, he does. He really does support me. And I told him I want us to start scoping together. Would y'all like that? if me and Kevin started scoping together, like getting on scopes and maybe do like a once a week where I get him on here with me and y'all can ask questions and stuff like that. Oh, okay. And drop comments. Okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna talk to him about it. So we'll start getting on here and just being ourselves, and we'll see what happens, because it gets crazy in here sometimes. We might start dancing. I don't know. We have dance contests in here, and just to let y'all know, Karis and I have been the winners for a long time, even though the guys think that they've been winning. Trust the process. Exactly. But I know I got off on a little tangent just now, but it's all about making decisions and getting out of the realm of desire. But see, a lot of people will tell you that you have to do that. You know, they'll tell you, just get over it, and you just need to do it. And that is true. But a lot of times there's some prep work that needs to be done. Like, you can't just pour the cake mix out of the box. You know, for those of us who don't bake from scratch, you can't just pour the cake mix out of the box and just put it in the pan and put it in the oven. You have to add other ingredients, and even after adding those ingredients, you have to mix all of those things together. So as you think about what I'm saying, and you like, man, I've been wanting to start this nonprofit for a long time. Man, I've been wanting to write this book. Man, I knew I was supposed to go and apologize to him, and I never did it. Man, I was supposed to do that. Your timing, their timing, God's timing are very different. Yes. But what I'm saying is, you have to be willing to go deep. You have to be willing. If you're going to bridge that gap, remember, we have to dig that foundation for that bridge to be secure in the ground so that we can cross over. And we have to do that, guys. And a lot of us can't do that on our own because we don't even realize the things that are holding us back. So that's why I'm really excited about the program that I'm offering. I really want to let you guys know about this. I'm offering my 6-week one-on-one program. I have cut the price completely in half. And I'm doing it for $500. And I'm telling y'all, this is an investment that you don't want to miss out on. Because I can absolutely promise you that you are going to cross over from desire to decision. I'm telling you, it's your time. It's usually $9.97. And I'm doing it for $500. And it's 6 weeks. One-on-one with me for up to 90 minutes once a week. I'm telling you guys, it's time to break through. It's time to soar. It's time to bridge the gap from desire to decision. We got to start taking action. I promise you guys, you can get to any place you need to get in life, but you have to know where you're starting from. Many of us have a distorted view of our current location. We think that we are someplace that we really aren't. It's like, have you ever had your GPS and it tells you your location, but it's telling you a location that you were at 10 years ago or 10 months ago? We don't get you out here. What you mean by that, Pat? We don't get you out here. What are you talking about? Perspective is, oh yes, perspective is everything. And a lot of times, because we're in the picture, we can't see the frame. And even if we see the frame, you know, we're looking at the frame from the inside. We're not able to see the bird's eye view, so to speak, right? And then sometimes, like you were saying, the perspective is different. Sometimes the GPS is giving us directions from where we used to be and not for where we are now. You tried calling oh, you're talking about the conference call. Okay, are you talking about the Heart Talk conference call? If that's what you're talking about, I want you to, well, put it like this. I want to talk to you. The email wouldn't work. I've checked the email and I've sent myself some test emails and they went through. Well, do me this favor, Pat. I want you to click the link in the bio so we can chat. And we can chat on the phone. We can do a Google Hangout or something like that. I'll also have your email information. Yes, we can use the Google Hangout. We can use the Facebook if you're on Facebook. There's another one. I'm trying to think right now. But I know for sure we can use the Google Hangout, and that's an easier one to use. If you click the link in the bio, Pat, do the quick questionnaire. I want us to hop on the phone and we can chat. And then I'll also have your information and I can send you the link from our Heart Talk session so that you can have it. Because if you're calling in from Canada, you wouldn't be able to listen. And I think, Penny, that was the same thing with you. Yes, I do have Zoom, but I don't use Zoom all the time. So we'll definitely, no social media. So what about Google? Do you use Google like for Gmail or things like that? Or maybe I could give you my number and you can give me a call and we can go from there. Okay, you use Google, so then you can download the Google Hangout. So do me this favor. Click the link in my bio. Swipe up, but she doesn't have social media. So swipe up or swipe right, depending on the type of device that you're on. Click the link in my bio. Do the quick questionnaire. I want you and I to hop on the phone. We can just chat it up. If you like the Heart Talk sessions, I just want to talk to you, just get to know you a little bit more. And then also I'll have your information and I can send you the link to the Heart Talk so you can hear the Heart Talk and you can hear how the other ladies interact as well. Does that work for you, Pat? And then you don't have to worry about social media or anything like that, and we can stay connected. So I just want to make sure. Okay, all right. So click that. It's just a few questions for you to complete, and then I'll have your information. Come on, you can't try. There is no try. We either do or we don't do. That's something my coach taught me. There is no try. We do or we don't do. I'm not putting that pressure on you like that, but I want to talk to you. I want to connect with you, especially if you've tried and it didn't go through. So maybe it's a reason why. Okay, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. You know, I'm a coach, so I'm in coaching mode, so I just have to be like that. And I have to be like that with myself as well. So just know I'm not going to be harder on you than I am on myself. I'm not going to ask you to do things that I'm not willing to do myself. And that's why I'm telling you, when you talk about desire over decision, I'm going to just tell y'all this and I'm going to get off because I got to go. It's late, but it didn't work before. Oh, yeah, I know. Somebody else told me that, but when I went and checked the email, it went through. So I don't know. Maybe it was an issue with the link that I had in the bio. Because I receive emails at that email on a regular basis, so I don't know what's going on. Hey, Heather. But just wanted to let you guys know, I had a desire. I started watching, I saw The Secret back in 2007. And good night, Penny. Thank you so much for getting on. I started watching The Secret in 2007. And it dropped a seed in me. And I didn't quite get it. It was intellectual, but it didn't really drop subconsciously. Like, it didn't really go in deep, right? And then over the years, then Oprah came out in like 2011, 2012 with like her Super Soul Sundays and her master's class. And I'm telling y'all, it's like it was a small fire, but it was starting to get bigger and bigger and bigger inside of me. And I had the desire. I'm watching all of these people live in their greatness and just express life from their truth and their perspective of truth and what they experienced and what they went through. And it was like, what's different? There's nothing different about them and me. You know, there's nothing different. I have this desire. I'm tired of living check to check. I'm tired of telling my kids one day, someday we'll be able to do this. I'm tired of, senseless frustration in my marriage and things like that. There you go, Shantae. There you go. The poem, Equipment. So back in last year, around this time, I really started watching a lot of personal development, law of attraction, The Secret, switching your paradigm, switching your mindset. And the desire that I had, the gap was being bridged to making a decision. It was scary to make that decision because once I made that decision, even if I didn't tell anybody else, I knew between me and God that I no longer had room to play small. I no longer had room to make excuses about why I can't live this life, because if these people have the same eyes and hands and brain that I have, that means that whatever they're doing, I can do at that same capacity or in my own lane. See, the problem is a lot of us don't do it because we don't want to be in our own lane. We're trying to run in somebody else's lane. We're trying to be just like them. So I just want to encourage you to run your race with intensity in your own lane. You know, when I made that decision, it was scary. It was scary because it was going to cause people to talk about me. It was going to cause people to question my decision. Because it's not common to quit your job with no money saved, and all because God told you to do it. I hear some of the biggest business people tell you, you never do what I did. And I'm here to tell y'all today that I made that decision. And I get that it may have been unorthodox to some people, but let me tell you, God is going to get the glory out of that decision that I made. He's already getting the glory, because if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be on Periscope. I wouldn't be jumping on Facebook Live, because I would be too stressed out to do those things. And a lot of people that are doing it, let me tell you something. I got a text, yes ma'am, I'm telling you, what did I tell y'all? Vanessa, I told you. And when I'm going all over the place, my people who were supporting me, when I had 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 people on my scopes, and when the scopes are so full, nobody else can get on, y'all going to remember these days. And I'm not going to forget about you guys. I'm telling you this now. You know why? Because there's too many people who are just straight reckless. I'm going to be nice. Who are only in it for ulterior motives. All over the world, all over the news, all over social media, all over any outlet they can be on. They're in the magazines, they're in the newspapers, and they are spreading nothing but pain and hurt and contaminating the atmosphere. So you trying to tell me I have the same equipment, but I want to use it for good, and God is going to keep me at a small scale? It'll never happen. I'll keep myself at a small scale. I would think less of myself, and therefore I will live in less than. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's the difference between desire versus decision. Gosh, I'm stuttering with all of these. So I want you to think about that. Yes, we need that. You know, we need that. That's why I'm getting ready to get off, because I know that God is getting ready to take me someplace. I'm telling y'all, in the next month or two, I'm putting together some programs. I have some things that are coming up. I want you to feel better about your life every day. I want you to look at your past and those hurts and those pains and see victory and not being a victim. I want you to break through those glass ceilings. You thought because you were a woman, you thought because you were black, you thought because you didn't get good grades in school, you thought because you may have been raped as a child, you thought because those things happened, you couldn't be where God called you to be. And the devil is a liar. That's what I came to tell you. The devil is a liar. That's why you got to make a decision. Because when you make a decision, you are making that declaration that I'm giving you a container to pour a blessing into, Lord. The decision is the container, guys. Just like Vanessa said, her husband made a decision. That's why he's seeing things take place. That's why things are going to take off. Things are taking off for her family right now. That's why. I don't know if Heather's still on right now, but I know Heather made a decision. And I'm telling you, God got some things in store for her for making that decision. Because if you tell God, I desire to please you, that means whatever it is that you want to do, it's going to work it out. He's going to work it out. No, Vanessa, not thanks to me, thanks to God. I'm just the messenger. But I've been blessed by my connection with you. I thank God for Periscope. I thank God for Facebook. So I really want to encourage you guys. I really want to encourage you to make that decision. I also want to encourage you to be honest with yourself about what's holding you back from making that decision. And if you don't know what to do, if you don't know how to work through that, if you don't know how to make sense of all of this, you know you have a great gift inside, but it's so buried under the pain and the hurt, and it's like your lines are blurred, and you can't get the right perspective. Your vision is not clear. Click the link in the bio. Connect with me. AddieBB.com. 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 I want you guys to connect with me. I want to get on the phone with you. I want to chat with you. We can email. We can do all of that. But it's nothing like being face to face or hearing each other's voices. Just to add the human component. Sometimes we get so caught up on the social media. We're so social on media that we miss the people that we can reach out and touch. Because we're too busy trying to touch the media, touch the social. Why not just touch your neighbor? Why not send love to those that are in the room with you instead of trying to send love all over the world? So that's why I got back on the scope so late, because I had to go and read a story with my sons and go do some things with them. You know what I mean? So I encourage you guys today, don't unplug, get connected. All right, Shantae, I know that's right. Because we are what? Agents of change. We are agents of change. Yes, we are. When people see us, they should see change. When people hear our name, they should hear peace. They should hear enlightenment. They should hear encouragement. They should hear inspiration. No matter what you do, whatever it is that you're doing, you're selling yourself. Hear decision. Yes. Heart decision, hear decision. I like that, Shantae. Heart decision. On our heart scope. Because we're heart talking on our heart scope. And let's let your heart make a decision right now that you're not going to let your mind talk you out of. I love that. I love it. Heart decisions. Heart decisions. Guard your heart. That's what Proverbs tells us. Guard your heart. That's why I do heart talk. I want your heart to be healthy. I want your heart to be free. So that you can be what? Anchored in your greatness. Anchored in your greatness. Anchored in your purpose. Anchored in your peace. Anchored in your prosperity. So connect with me. Adelaide Brown with Be Blessed Daily. Click the link in the bio. I want to chat with you. If you have a friend or someone you know who could benefit from this or from what I do, give them the link. It's easy. AddieBB.com. Addie, AddieBB.com. Just shoot them a text. Tell them, hey, you need to talk to her. She might be able to help you through. And she's running a special. We can't beat that. $500 for 6 weeks with me. Up to 90 minutes per call. Nobody else is doing that. They're not doing that. And they're going to charge more. You're going to get less time. And it's not going to go deep. It's not going to work out those kinks. It is time for you to soar. Remember, skyscrapers have the deepest foundations. Because in order for us to go high, we have to be willing to dig deep. So I encourage you guys. Let's break through those glass ceilings. Let's soar in your unlimited greatness. Deep heart massage. Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. So don't forget to share this with your followers. All of my replay viewers, don't forget to share this. And I thank you guys so much for hearting it up. I love you guys. I am Adelaide Brown. I am going to go out. The turn up has been real with you guys. Now it is time for me to carry my behind the bed. So y'all have a good evening. I love y'all. You all be blessed.